First things first, there's over 200 of you now. Holy shit, what the fuck, that's more people than there were pupils in my primary school. It was a small school, but still. Hi, welcome, thank you, I might be a little freaked out by this, let's go. So, on my last video, I got a comment that inspired me, so you're getting a whole video out of it. The comment in question reads, "Hi, I've been thinking about this question for a while, and I wish someone with a disability could answer me. What do you think of the trope where a character with a disability in some supernatural way can no longer be disabled? Like Toph from Avatar, who can quote-unquote see with her earthbending." So, yeah, let's talk about that. Because it's a thorny subject, one which can both be done very well and extremely poorly. And first things first, these characters, even though they have some supernatural ability, are still disabled. They're not disabled just because they have some extra something on there. So just that, first of all. And you know what? While we're at it, I'm going to pull not just magic and superpowers, but some, not all, sci-fi prosthetics into this because it ties in close enough. So, this trope. It's extremely common with blind characters, but it does show up with other kinds of disabilities as well. Much more rarely, but it does. And more often than not, it really seems like the author just wanted a disabled character, usually specifically a blind character, without having to actually write said character realistically. The most common example I can think of off the top of my head is Matt Murdock, whose hearing is so good it's almost completely replaced his sight. He's usually one of the ones that's cited as an example for, hey, don't do this shit, because, yeah, not gonna lie, what little I have seen of him hasn't been great. But I'm also by no means an expert, so don't take my word for that. There could be some fantastic Daredevil interpretations out there somewhere, I don't know. It's also present in characters like Toph with her earthbending, or Shiro from Voltron with his arm, serving as not just a prosthetic, but giving him power and strength beyond that of a normal human. Yes, I'm aware that Voltron is a trash fire, but he's the best example I could think of offhand. At the core, this trope means taking your hero, giving them a disability, and then giving them a power which, in some way or another, is directly related to said disability. Now, this is where I would put the first stop, and ask any writer crafting a character to consider this. Does that have to be the case? You've got this disabled character, and you want them to kick ass. Very cool, we all want more of that. Does their power have to be exactly this? Does your blind character have to have a power which, quote-unquote, replaces their sight? Does your amputee have to have superpowered prosthetics? Could they possibly, just spitballing here, have a power that's completely unrelated to their disability? If the answer is yes, great, do that instead. You're gonna end up with something that feels a hell of a lot more fresh than any use of this trope could ever net you. If it's no, ask yourself why. Why does this character, specifically, have to have this power? If the reason makes sense within the internal logic of your story and the world building, you may proceed. But please, for the love of God, take a moment to think about what you're actually doing. Are you writing a disabled character who has this power, or are you writing a character who's got the optics of being disabled but functionally isn't because you thought that'd be cool? You have to tread really carefully here because characters who should be relatable to disabled people but aren't because their writers couldn't be bothered to actually write a disabled person, that's not fun for your disabled audience. And you will have a disabled audience. If they have to have this power, fine. But don't make it too powerful. Don't make it a replacement for their disability. If you're writing an amputee with really high-tech prosthetics, consider how wearing them for an extended period of time might affect them. Read up on real amputees and their experiences. I often see Full Metal Alchemist cited as a good example of a series that has advanced prosthetics with realistic setbacks, even though those are just regular prosthetics, just a little more advanced, no superpowers there. If you're writing a blind character, actually write a blind character. Avatar actually does a pretty great job with this overall, and I love Toph dearly. Do your research and don't just hand-wave everything with, They have this power, therefore I don't have to actually bother writing a disabled character, because that's bullshit. It is, first and foremost, lazy writing, and it's something we've seen done a million times over. I promise, you can do better. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, consider liking it and maybe subscribing. I will be back here Thursday after next. Bye!